Morning everyone, I'm having a cup of tea in the garden and a bit of peace before I take the dogs a walk and get on with my everyday jobs. I thought I'd do a little piece about new things for this year in the garden, and I'm going to put 1 or 2 photographs up for all the new things I've bought for the garden this year. So let's just find out what that was. That was Freya again. She's driving me nutty. She's obsessed with the new fence at the minute. She's just staring at it, scratching at it, as though there's something on the other side of it or there's something on it. I think it's flies and shadows and stuff, I don't know. She's driving me nutty. She does it at night as well. We can't get her in because she's busy in a bush staring at nothing. Anyway, I've had 1 or 2 new things in the garden this year, and I thought I'd just have a little think whether they was worth buying or not, whether I think they're good, whether they're not very good, or whether I wish I'd not bought them, that type of thing. So the first thing, seeing as there's one behind me, is these new hanging baskets, and I think I've showed you them before when I potted them up. They're absolutely brilliant. They're so easy to water. You don't spill any water. They don't need watering very often. I suppose as it gets hotter, they'll need watering a bit more often. But they're so easy to water. You've just got this little, well, I showed you on the last video that I did of the hanging baskets, that is a little thing that you just tip the water in. And it's so easy. You don't spill any, it don't splash all over everywhere. So I am really glad I bought them. I was debating whether to have new ones. I was debating whether not to bother with hanging baskets at all this year. When I needed to replace them, because not only are they really good, they weren't expensive. They're only £5. So that is the first thing that's really good. I will just show you the others. I've put them all out. Sorry about the sun. Let me come around that way. So there's a water reservoir at the bottom, and it's really good. So I'm going to be into the sun. It's not good. I've got 3 with flowers in, and the back one has got a tumbler tomato in. Let me just get round there. There we are. So that's got a tumbler tomato in, and this one's got a nice white flower. I can't get out the sun, can I, this morning? It's terrible. And then this one is on the summer house, and it's got my present from Joe in it, and it's doing really well. Look at that, that's nice. Get a bit closer. So the next thing that's new in the garden, since I can't get out of my own shadow, is the alliums. Now they're not actually new. I used to have alliums around this tree before, but I'm in my own shadow. Hang on, let me come round here. There, that's better. But these are new bulbs. And all the new bulbs I've put in this area, I've really enjoyed. They've been really good. They're all going over now, and I'm just waiting for them to die off a bit more so I can clear the leaves. The next thing that's new in the garden is the new tunnel, and I really love this new tunnel. I have had a new cover on my other tunnel, which I like, but I really like this new tunnel. I like the shape. It's higher. I can hang hanging baskets from the top. These cold frames were bought last year and made up, but they're new to the garden to be in use this year, and I really like them. So everything I've bought mentioned up to yet, I'm glad I've bought. Seed wise, I've had a lot of new seeds, different seeds that I've never grown before. I've had about 13 different varieties of tomato that I've never grown before, and I'm quite happy with everything except for one tomato variety. Up to yet, I mean, I've not got no tomatoes on, well, I've got some tomatoes on some of them, but I've not been able to taste the fruit yet or anything. But as a plant, I don't like the fountain. I will show you. It's a horrible plant, I've decided. Now, I've had to move it out of the tunnel because it doesn't like the cold, it doesn't like the hot, it definitely doesn't like it when it gets sun on it. If you can see, its leaves are burnt, this one in particular, even though I've got a bit of shading up in the tunnel and we're only early yet, it's really not doing well. Scorched all the leaves. It didn't like it when it was really cold, compared to some of the other tomatoes that didn't mind too much, going below about 6 degrees. Anything below about 6 and this is not happy. It's sprawling all over everywhere. It is supposed to be a bush, but it's acting as though it should be a cordon, because these side shoots are really long and they're falling onto the floor if they're not held up. It's such a sprawly, horrible, oops, I just broke a leaf off, never mind, type of plant. I've had to kind of go and search for information, because the trouble is with some of these companies I've been using, they've just got general information on how to grow a tomato, not anything specific on the seed packet about the variety that you know, is in the packet. So that's something else I've not really been happy about, because when you buy some tomatoes, I mean, I know I was buying them online so I could see what they looked like, and it gives you a brief description online as well. But the seed packets have come with nothing, no picture of the variety, and no specific instructions for that variety, just a general. If it's a cordon, you do this. If it's a bush, you do this. So I had to go and investigate for this one, and I did find that you're supposed to put it 3 foot apart. You plant 3 foot apart. So that would explain the sprawliness. If I'd have known that, it wouldn't have gone in the tunnel in the first place. But I had to search on the internet to find that out. But I haven't found really much else about it other than it's quite a nice, sweet, small tomato. So something I wish I'd never bought and grown. That's the only thing I think that I bought this year that I'm not happy with. The auto pot system, I'm loving the auto pot system. I've got 4, these 2 are empty, they're not connected up, but I've got 4 of them, 47 litre tubs, and since I put this system in, I have not had to water yet. I've not had to fill them up, and they're only just approaching half empty now. And you're all going to wonder what this is doing up here, aren't you? Because even though we're on 9 o'clock in the morning, the sun is that bright. These are just getting a little bit of sun on the tops, but not too much because of this fence, because the sun is up there at the minute. And you'll wonder what this is doing here. This is shading this one, because this one will be nearly dead by dinner time if I don't give it some shade. The 42-day tomato is the same. It's doing well with its tomatoes, but its leaves are terrible because it's getting scorched in the morning, and then by the time the sun comes around to this side, it hits it again. So we've had to kind of sort things out. This one's doing well. It seems to be more shaded there. These in the middle, the leaves were absolutely frazzled the other day, so this is why this is up. So it's getting some protection from the sun coming through there straight across onto them. It's terrible in May when you've got to put all this shading up for your tomato plants. But if I don't, then the leaves end up looking like, hold on, let me show, end up looking like this. And it's not as though they haven't got any water, they've got plenty of water. This auto pot system they've got plenty of water all the time, and even if the top layer of soil dries out, when you dig down, put your fingers in, it's really damp underneath. So they've got enough water. It's just that the sun is that intense that it's they can't drink up enough liquid to cope with the amount of sun on the leaves. And it's not as though there's been any water dripped on them, because they're being watered from the bottom, and there's no water dripped from the roof, because if it did get steamy in here and drip, this netting catches it. So it's just pure intense sunshine. So these four tomatoes are doing really well, and that's because they're in the shade. And you wouldn't think you'd have to grow your tomatoes in the shade. The only disadvantage to putting them here is that I'll get late ripening fruit. But until the fruit is ready to ripen, this is the best place for them, because they just grow lovely against this fence, because they're not getting that horrible sun. The top of this garden's south facing, and it gets sun all day. And when the sun is really shiny and hot and scorchio, it absolutely roasts everything. Right, I've come in because it's too hot. I'm toasting out there. Sorry it's a bit dark. I would get up and switch the light on, but I've got a dog on my knee, fast asleep. So I thought I'd finish my video off in here. So I've been through all the new things I've had for the garden this year, and whether I liked it or whether I didn't like it. And I thought I'd see what everybody else has had. Don't have to be something brand new that you've bought. It can be something that you've acquired, been given, recycled, seeds, what new seeds you've got, and whether you think they was worth getting, whether they're worth buying, whether they've been brilliant and you've really enjoyed it, or whether you're ready for throwing it out, if it's worked or if it's not worked. So Babette, I challenge you to do a video, and Simon from 50 Shades of Green, I challenge you to do a video, and there is quite a few other people, but I'm not quite sure whether they watch my channel. So feel free to do a video on this subject if you watch my channel, or make some comments down below to see if you have enjoyed your new things in the garden, or whether you think that was a mistake. I think I might get rid of that. Alright, that's it for today. See you next time. Bye.